Welcome back, everyone. We're doing a deep dive today into the world of executive coaching.
Okay.
And to do that, we are using the website of CoachLab.hu, which is a Hungarian coaching firm. So
Interesting.
see what we find out.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
So I guess let's just jump right into it.
Sounds good.
They have a lot on their website about, how they help leaders, top executives unlock their potential and how coaching can help those leaders navigate all the craziness of the world today.
Right. It is a crazy world.
Yeah. And we'll also see about this. I don't know if you saw this, but it said sales coaching secrets
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
that top performers swear by. What is that all about?
Well, I think a lot of people misunderstand coaching in general. It's not just about giving advice or
Right.
some generic solution, one size fits all.
Yeah.
It's much more of a process that's personalized,
Okay.
that's designed to empower the leader to discover their own answers and achieve results, lasting results.
That makes a lot of sense. And it does seem like that's something that they really stress on the website,
Yeah,
that it's tailored to each leader, their needs, their goals,
exactly.
not a cookie cutter.
No, and they really place importance on building a strong, trusting partnership
Oh, okay.
between the coach and the leader.
Yeah.
And this allows for open and honest conversations, so you
Yeah.
can really get down to the nitty-gritty and have those aha moments where real breakthroughs happen.
Yeah, you got to be able to open up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I guess that probably helps with, tackling those tough challenges that leaders face that they maybe don't feel comfortable talking about
Absolutely.
within their organizations.
Right.
So, you can't really be open within your own company all the time, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and I guess that also leads into how they focus on tangible outcomes, right?
Right.
It's not just exploring your feelings.
No.
It's about setting goals, measuring those results, and working towards change that you can see that makes a difference.
That's right. Like a leader might be working on improving, say, team performance or engagement or boosting their own communication skills.
So it's less like therapy and more like training for high-performance executives.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it.
Yeah. While there might be, I guess, some elements of therapy in there,
Right.
the focus is really on their professional growth
Yeah,
and helping them develop those skills that they need to excel.
exactly.
So, when is executive coaching most useful? I know we see all this stuff all the time, but
Right.
the website highlights some pretty relatable scenarios. Like if you're leading a major change in your organization,
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
or if you're feeling burned out,
Uh-huh.
or maybe you're just struggling to connect with your team.
Right, and I think in those situations, a coach can be really valuable, someone to bounce ideas off of, a strategic partner who can give you objective feedback.
That you might not get otherwise
Right.
from inside your company.
Especially inside the company, yeah.
Yeah.
They're not caught up in all the internal dynamics.
That outside perspective.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's a key part of what a coach does, at least according to the site.
Okay.
They're not there to just tell you what to do, hand out the solutions.
Yeah, they're not consultants.
No.
Yeah.
They guide the leader to their own answers by asking insightful questions, making observations, and, kind of helping them figure things out for themselves.
This reminds me, they had an article called Why Are CEOs Alone with Their Problems?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I think it really gets at that isolation that a lot of leaders experience,
Right.
even when they're surrounded by people.
Even when they're surrounded by people, yeah.
All these people working for them,
Exactly.
but they can't really confide in anyone.
Yeah, it's a really interesting article.
It is.
And I think it explores why top execs often feel like they can't confide in anyone within their organization.
Right.
And so that's where a coach can step in and provide that safe, confidential space.
Right, like a therapist almost.
In a way, yeah, but
Yeah.
more focused on the professional challenges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the coach is like this trusted advisor, but also someone with the experience and objectivity to see the bigger picture.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it.
And I don't know if you saw this other article, but it's called 5 Brutally Effective Sales Coaching Secrets.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
What are those secrets?
Well, they don't give them all away, of course.
That's a lot.
But it's more about the idea that a lot of top salespeople are hesitant to share their techniques,
Oh, so they're keeping them close to the vest.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But the article talks about how successful selling goes beyond just closing deals.
Okay.
It's about really building trust, understanding what the customer needs, and being flexible enough to adapt your approach for each person.
So even in sales, it's about human connection,
Absolutely.
building that rapport.
Yeah, yeah.
So going back to the leadership skills, they mention 5 key competencies that they believe are crucial for every leader to develop.
Yes, those are key.
And I think it'd be good if we could take a look at those and see,
Yeah, dive into them.
yeah, what do you think about those? What are our strengths and weaknesses in those areas?
Right. Yeah, I'm curious about that myself.
Yeah, so the first one is navigating the ever-changing business world with confidence.
Oh, that's a big one these days.
Oh, tell me about it. It's changing so fast.
Yeah.
And this seems especially relevant in today's, rapidly evolving landscape.
It really is.
It's like every day there's something new.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you think leaders can, develop this competency?
Well, I think it's about being adaptable, first and foremost. Being able to embrace new technology, understand the global trends,
Right.
and make those strategic decisions even when everything feels uncertain.
You're in the middle of a storm.
Exactly. You've got to be able to steer the ship.
Yep. And come out stronger
Exactly.
on the other side.
That's right.
Now, the next competency is leading teams effectively to achieve better results.
Oh, yeah. Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
It does, but it's not always easy.
No, definitely not.
It's more than just giving orders.
Right. You have to inspire people,
Huh.
empower them, foster collaboration, and really create a culture of high performance.
Yeah, you got to elevate the whole team.
That's it. It's not just about managing tasks. It's about leading people.
So you're like a conductor leading an orchestra.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah.
You're getting everyone to play their part beautifully.
And that leads right into driving sustainable growth for the organization.
Absolutely.
Because if your team is, working well together.
Right. They can achieve great things.
Yeah.
And that leads to growth.
So this is a critical focus for any leader.
I would say so, yeah.
What do you think this entails?
Well, I think it's about thinking long term,
Yeah.
making decisions that are responsible and benefit everyone involved, stakeholders.
Stakeholders.
Yeah, customers.
Right. Employees, the community.
So it's really about building a future
Uh-huh.
for the organization that is both successful and sustainable.
That's right.
So we have 2 more competencies to cover.
Okay.
Are you ready for those?
Hit me with them. I'm ready.
Okay, let's see what CoachLab.hu has for us
All right. Sounds good.
in part 2.
So these last 2 competencies deal with conflict and emotional intelligence, and they're both, really important for effective leadership.
Okay, yeah, those are, I think those are big ones.
Yeah.
So let's start with managing conflict constructively.
Right.
Because I think for a lot of leaders, that's a hard thing.
It can be. Yeah.
You want to be the nice guy, you don't want to be confrontational,
Right.
but conflict's going to happen.
It's inevitable. Yeah. In any organization, it's going to happen.
Yeah. So it's really about how you handle it,
Okay.
whether it tears the team apart or it actually helps everyone grow.
Right. So how can executive coaching help with that?
Well, a good coach can help leaders develop those skills, to address the conflict head on,
Yeah.
communicate openly, and find solutions that work for everyone involved.
So it's like instead of just ignoring it
Right.
and letting it fester,
Exactly.
they're actually using it as a tool.
turning it into a positive.
Yeah. To improve things.
Exactly.
Okay. And then the last one, developing emotional intelligence.
Ah, yes. Emotional intelligence.
That's a hot topic these days.
It is. It is.
What does that even mean for leaders specifically?
Well, I think it boils down to being aware of your own emotions,
Right. Okay.
how they influence your behavior.
Self-awareness,
Yeah, self-awareness, and also being sensitive to the emotions of others.
empathy.
Empathy, exactly. And so leaders with high emotional intelligence, they're good at building those strong relationships,
Yeah.
resolving conflicts effectively, and creating a more positive work environment.
So it's not just about being nice.
No, not at all.
It's about being, I guess, a more effective leader,
Right.
a more authentic leader.
Yeah, and inspiring trust,
Yeah. Yeah.
fostering those genuine connections.
And the good news is, I guess, emotional intelligence can be learned.
That's the good news, yeah.
It's not something you're born with.
You can develop it over time,
Okay.
and that's where coaching can be really helpful.
Right. So if we think about all 5 of these,
Yeah.
navigating change, leading teams, driving growth, managing conflict, developing emotional intelligence,
It's a lot.
it is a lot, but it seems like executive coaching can really help
It can. It
leaders
can.
cultivate these skills,
Yeah.
reach their potential.
It's like having a personal roadmap.
Oh,
and a guide to help you through the jungle of leadership.
through the jungle. That's a good analogy.
Yeah.
So it's not just about individual growth either.
No, it's not.
When leaders invest in themselves, it benefits everyone.
Absolutely. It ripples out.
The whole organization, their teams.
The teams, the customers.
Yeah, customers.
Yeah, the whole ecosystem.
So like we were talking about before, CoachLab.hu, they offer all these resources
Yes, they do.
and insights to help leaders, start this journey.
And those articles we were talking about earlier, like those sales coaching secrets,
Yeah, the secrets.
I'm really curious about those.
Yeah, me too.
And what about those the mobility business challenges in 2025?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that one.
That looks into the future.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, so they really offer practical tips.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they go deep
They do. They go deep.
into the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, they talk about the different coaching methodologies,
Wow.
the ethical considerations,
Okay.
the latest research.
So they're not just skimming the surface.
No, they're really getting into it.
You're diving deep.
Deep dive. Exactly.
This has been a very insightful exploration so far.
It has. It has.
Wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. But I do think we need to talk about one more thing before we wrap up.
Okay, what's that?
We talked about those 5 competencies, but, that's just one piece of the puzzle.
Right. What else is there?
Well, like finding the right coach.
Oh,
That's huge. Someone who's experienced, qualified, and whose style works for you.
yeah, like a good therapist or a good doctor or a good
Exactly.
thing.
It's a relationship,
Yeah.
It has to be a good fit.
And CoachLab.hu, they talk about that too.
They do, yeah. Doing your research,
Okay.
asking the right questions, making sure you feel comfortable with that person.
So once you find the right coach, then the real work begins.
Then the real work begins, yeah, because coaching is an ongoing process, It's not just a one-time thing. It involves assessments, action plans, feedback.
It's like going to the gym.
Kinda, yeah.
You got to keep at it.
You got to keep at it. You got to be committed
Tough
to continuous improvement.
And there's got to be that confidentiality.
Absolutely. That's essential.
Trust.
Yeah, the leader needs to feel safe sharing their vulnerabilities, their challenges.
Right.
And a good coach will, maintain that confidentiality.
It's a very personal journey.
It is very personalized,
Yeah.
tailored to that leader's needs and circumstances.
So ultimately, the goal of executive coaching
Yeah, the goal.
is to help leaders unlock their potential,
Exactly.
achieve that positive change
That's it.
for themselves and for their organization.
That's it.
For themselves and for their organizations.
For everyone. Yeah,
Well, this has been really enlightening.
it has.
I feel like I learned a lot.
Me too. It's a fascinating field.
Yeah, and CoachLab.hu, they really,
They have a great website.
they do.
Yeah, lots of good information.
For anyone who wants to learn more,
Cap-
it feels like, we've only just scratched the surface here.
Yeah, there's always more to learn.
Executive coaching it's so much more than just like giving advice, you
Yeah.
know.
Right. It's a whole process.
It is.
And I think one of the most valuable things we've touched on, and something that CoachLab.hu really emphasizes, is that self-awareness piece.
Okay, yeah,
It's not about being told what to do.
right.
It's about, figuring out your strengths, your weaknesses, those patterns of behavior that might be holding you back.
It's like someone holding up a mirror.
Yeah,
It's not
exactly.
helping you understand what you see.
And once you have that self-awareness, you can make better decisions, build stronger relationships.
Yeah, lead more authentically.
Exactly.
Be the best version of yourself.
That's it.
And I guess, this isn't just for CEOs.
No, not at all.
Everyone can benefit from this.
Everyone can be a leader.
Right. And that's something that they talk about, that leadership development. It's a journey.
It's a journey, not a destination.
It is.
You're always learning, always growing.
Yeah.
And when leaders at all levels, invest in themselves, everyone wins.
So for our listeners out there, maybe they're feeling a little lost
Yeah.
or overwhelmed.
You stuck?
Yeah, stuck. What would you say to encourage them?
I would say be open to the possibilities.
Okay.
You might be surprised by what you discover about yourself, about your potential.
Yeah.
And resources like CoachLab.
Yeah.
They're a great place to start,
All right. Lots of information.
Lots of information, practical tips,
Yeah.
and they can help you find the right coach.
Now, before we go, I have one final question for our listeners.
Okay, sure.
If you could have an executive coach, what one area would you focus on to make the biggest impact on your work and on your life?
Ooh. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, think about that.
Something to ponder.
Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of executive coaching.
It's been a pleasure.
It has. We hope you found it insightful.
And maybe even a little inspiring.
Yeah, empowering. Empowering, that's the word. We'll see you next time.